thought, or feel free to jump in. Gleb, I would like to start with you, if you don't mind, because when we talked the last time, it was around 2 years ago, and since then you had such an interesting experience in Australia. Uh, could you please share a few thoughts first? Can you please share the three words, like how you would describe this experience, and if you could elaborate on it a little. By the way,
Well,
amazing level of English. I'm so, so, so proud of you. Like you've come a long way. That's amazing.
it was a very long way, yeah, to improve my English level, actually. Yeah. Well, we are talking about only three words. Okay. The first will be exciting, challenging, and maybe interesting and exciting. It's pretty the same. But what else? Like, let it be interesting. Okay.
Wow.
Exciting. If we're talking about Australia, exactly. Well, it was like like another world, another planet, really, because everything there very different. Even you know, crowns, like they sound in a different way because Russian crowns, like uh, they they sound like car.
Oh, crows. Yeah, you mean.
Crows, yeah, it's crows. And Australia's crows, they sound like meow, meow. Even this one.
Wow, that's an interesting example. Yeah, well, yeah, wow, that's very unexpected, to be honest.
Yeah, it was really like a very big shock for me when I go out to the streets, like walk into this through the streets, through the city or CBD. And well, it's another interesting fact that they call city center not downtown. They call it CBD, Central Business District, like it's like this. I don't know, but in the UK and the US, they call it downtown, as I know.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it's very interesting.
So, yeah, wow, that's okay. That's quite interesting. Yeah,
And of course, kangaroos. They
that's
are amazing.
yeah, I guess that it's a very different world, yeah, because of the climate, because it's also located in the southern hemisphere, yeah. So they had their Christmas during summertime, and yeah, all of that. Did you spend your Christmas there, by the way?
No, no, unfortunately not.
So you were staying during the winter.
During their spring, I would say.
That's it.
Like I moved there from Kyrgyzstan and Thailand, and it's a very interesting story.
Please tell.
When I arrived in Australia, officer and border customs, he called me. He answered me, "Where are you from?" And I answered him, "Well, originally I'm from Russia, but now I came from Kyrgyzstan." And he just thought and asked me, "Pardon? Could you repeat the name of this country?" I told him Kyrgyzstan, and after that he thought like I don't know for a minute and answered me, "Write it please on my notebook. I don't know where it is. I like a first time I heard this name. Like, what is it? It's like, whoa, man, come on." Yeah, it was really interesting. They live in their own world. They don't want to know about others. Like I don't know. They are very how's it called, like a very, not very, you know, it's very difficult. It's very special world, uh,
Yeah.
like not very good educated maybe, because we we learn geography in the school and in the university, and it's really interesting. We know almost everything about other countries, and they don't do it. I don't know. They're very strange, but they're very hospitable people.
Yeah, that was actually quite challenging. Yeah, like I remember I also when we met with Tina again. I yeah, and I remember like when she said like she was from Zimbabwe, and I was just like it took me a while to figure out where exactly it was. Well, I know the country, so you know like my geography knowledge is already like is not the same as it used to be. Yeah, it's cool. But yeah, yeah, that's I would agree with you. I think like if we compare it, I don't have as many Australian friends as the people whom I met in the US or in the UK. But I think they yeah, they do not learn the countries as much as we do in Russia. So they're probably there's no chance that they will know about a small Kyrgyzstan. There's no chance. But yeah, I see what you mean. So that's quite interesting. Okay, so you said that it was exciting, interesting, challenging. Yeah. So what was the
Challenging.
challenging about it? About your
Oh, yeah, it's my daughter. When I came there, they wanted to deport me from the country because they thought that I came there to work illegally. Yeah, it was
so
really
you
challenging.
came
Uh,
on student visa, right?
and not. I came there on a tourist visa, and I wanted to change it to student visa, but everything was changed at that time, and it was impossible to change it after I came there, we arrived there.
Right, right. But though you still managed to stay there for some time on a tourist visa, and it was for how many months? Like around three?
I spent there 3 months, yeah, in a row.
Good, good. Wow, what an experience.
Yeah, it was really great, and I've bought a car there, and yeah, it is there right now, waiting for me, for my family.
Oh,
We hope to get there very soon, but who knows?
yeah, may take some time, but that's amazing how you worked it all out in 3 months. So yes, I would say the same. So for me, it was pretty much the same. Yeah, exciting but very challenging. Yeah, like if just on a very high level. Yeah.
Yeah,
How would
only
you,
3 words. Yeah,
if you don't mind, I will just like also ask Tina, if you're available, if you can also participate. Could you also share a few thoughts on your experience in Russia? Because you've been living in Russia. How would you describe it
Yeah.
in two?
Hi, everyone. Can you hear me?
Yes, yes.
Yes, I'm currently at the airport, so I'll try to be audible enough.
Thanks for joining.
So, what can I say about my experience? I think it was interesting, but also like a roller coaster. Like, that's the best way to describe it. A real roller coaster. And it was also challenging. It was interesting the part in the sense that I was excited that I'm coming to a different country and everyone's telling me that Russia is beautiful and I'm a huge fan of FIFA and there was FIFA in Russia. So I was so excited, very excited. I'm like, oh, I'm telling my friends that I'm going to Russia, this place, I've heard it's beautiful. I'm going to study there. There are a lot of things. I'm going to see snow, like since we don't have snow in my country. So I was super excited. And when I got here, shock of my life. When I at the airport, you know, when you're coming in the country for the first time, they take you to this room where they take your documents, they question you, what are your intentions in this country? Why are you here? And we stayed there for like 4 hours. I was so hungry. And after they allowed us to leave, and I didn't have like a big winter jacket. When the doors opened at the airport, it was so bad. It was so cold. I was freezing. My fingers were freezing. My cheeks were freezing. My nose was, every part of me was freezing. And the best part was when the lady who takes students from the airport to the train station. She was so kind. She was really good with me, so gentle. And when I got to the train station, they booked us the first class, the first class wagon. It was cool. It was nice. In my cabin, there were really good people. One of them was a doctor and one of them was a teacher, and they were really good to me. My whole journey was amazing. It's like we had traveled the world all the way from Zimbabwe together. So, like, my experience from the airport to Saratov was really good, but in Moscow, not so good. And the roller coaster part was the language. I struggled with the language, and I really had tough Russian teachers. They were really tough. And after every lesson, I would be crying, like I'm trying to pronounce ve. I'm struggling. It was so difficult. And at some point it was a bit traumatic for me. But when I got to my third year, I got a really good Russian teacher. She was so patient. She would listen to my mistakes and correct my mistakes. So after that, I got so used to just going to Russian class, and I was excited because the teacher was good, the teacher was nice, everything was getting better. And on the other hand, med school was a lot studying, and I wanted to work. So working, studying, juggling the language was a lot for me. And with time, I got used to it. And the challenging part also, documentation. Here, for students, it's quite strict when it comes to documents. So you need to have your documents in order. You need to make sure that you submit your documents on time. And we have to do medical. Sometimes we had to pay for these medicals, and they were quite expensive at that time. So that was also the challenging part being here. But and the winter, I was excited that I'm going to see snow. But what comes with snow was because it was so cold. Saratov gets cold sometimes. And when I was back in Zimbabwe, I used to have frostbite in winter. So when I came here, it was like double, triple the cold. But fortunately, I never had frostbite, but the cold was really bad. It was really bad for me. But now I love winter. I love summer in Russia. I love autumn. I love everything about Russia, to be honest. I've had good experiences with everyone I've met. People have Russians have been kind to me. And one good experience I had was last summer. I hope I'm not taking much time. Was last summer when I went to an English summer camp. And the woman who was working the summer camp decided to let us like go to the camp and go back home. So I had to look for an apartment in Moscow. It was a bit challenging for me to get a place. Like Moscow accommodation is quite hard. So she asked me, "Do you want to stay with me with my family?" And I said, "Oh, it's okay." And I had the best time. It was my first time eating greshka. It was my first time eating a lot of different things. It was a very good vacation for me. And for me, if I'm to leave this country, I really have good, good comments about this country, though I had some struggles here and there. So my experience was overall 4.5 out of 5. So 0.5 is the challenges and the roller coasters, but yeah.
Thank you for sharing that experience. It's actually very precious and very interesting, very unusual. Yeah. But also it's a lot easier to move somewhere when it's hot and nice. Yeah, like the weather is very nice and easy. But this is the opposite. Yes, kind of once you survive that winter, then like by the end you feel like yeah, you toughen up and you I guess the rest is easy. Yeah, once this is like once you go over the challenge. Yeah, that's cool. Very nice. How about Kyrgyzstan? How about your experience in Kyrgyzstan now, Gleb? Like in terms of the weather and everything. Like let's say if we talk about the weather.
Well, first of all, I don't like winter time. Like too much winter for me in this life. I'm quit. Thank you. Because it's very difficult for me. And I try to go somewhere without winters. And actually, Kyrgyzstan, it's very nice country. It's very beautiful country. Like nature, we're talking about nature. I've met a lot of foreigners here in the mountains, and they told me that the nature, the mountains, and everything is pretty the same as in Europe, in like Alps. I've been there once, but I can't remember really some like I don't know some details from that pictures in my mind. And well, it's very cheap to live there, to live here, and people they are very hospitable. They are like they like I don't know. It's they like some small talks in the streets. It's very unusual for me because in Moscow it's absolutely impossible, like a 0%. And here they just come to you and ask like uh, I don't know 10 questions. So how are you? Well, like are you came here with your family? How many children do you have? And everything. They are very curious. And maybe because of that, they like to answer or to ask questions. Yeah. Well, the weather here very beautiful because, for example, last winter we had only 5 days with snow and something about minus 15, maybe. Yeah, it's absolutely amazing for me. And I spent whole winter only in my spring jacket. Yeah, absolutely amazing for me. Well,
like that. Yeah, that's that's for sure.
very nice and tasty food. They their cuisine is very special. A lot of meat and vegetables. Yeah, that's all that I need. Really, I hate some sweeties or something like that. And here you can eat a lot of meat, fresh meat, very tasty meat, and vegetables here are very cheap. Like for example, 1 kilo of tomatoes here costs like maybe in rubles, it could be something about 50 rubles per kilo. Amazing tomatoes and everything.
Here it's like at least like 250 in Moscow. Yeah, they cost about 250.
Yeah, I remember it.
Yeah,
And
start packing. Yeah, Tina and I, we are ready.
yeah, you're welcome. But I suggest to come here in spring. It's like it's another world. the nature is very beautiful. Everything is green and smells very good. Very unusual nature for me, even. Yeah, and now I can't imagine how is it to live without mountains. It's absolutely impossible for me because every view from the window, like you can see mountains from your window in apartments. Yeah, and they are very high.
5-star
Like,
level view, yeah.
yeah, it's not sea view, but mountains view. Yeah.
Sounds amazing. I mean, like, since I started skiing, like I will never, I will, like, if someone asks me, like, you will either have a beach holiday until the rest of your life or a mountain holiday, and then I will still think about it. So I love mountains so much as well, since I started traveling to ski resorts, and yeah, the freshness of air and the view, amazing. Um,
Yeah, and a lot of ski resorts here,
oh,
even very, yeah,
coming.
very close to Bishkek, like a dozen of ski resorts.
Oh, so we should talk more about it after.
And they cost maybe like 1,000 rubles per day with the renting equipment.
Wow. So from what I hear so far, like it when you live abroad, yeah, there are a lot of perks, lots of positives. Well, hopefully, yeah, I guess like it depends from place to place. Yeah, they're depending on the location, but in many, from what I hear so far, there are like lots of positives, yeah, to find. Yeah, and something like some new discoveries, yeah. So maybe it's something also to mention. If you had any discoveries, by the way, like feel free to share. Oh, I can share mine. Like, well, after living abroad for around 10 years, I figured that actually, you always hear about the other countries, like different nationalities, different people. But then later I realized, like everywhere, like wherever, anywhere you go, there are problems. And, those kind of I remember like hearing lots of wonderful things about the US, about the UK, and like when I had the experience of living there and working there and studying there, I figured that there are as many issues as there are home. So for me, I guess I realized like east or west, home is best. Well, I guess everyone can speak for themselves. It's not the same for everyone, but that was for me. Yeah. How about for you guys? Do you also agree? Like east or west, home is best, or would you disagree with this? We have around 8 or 9 minutes before we finish, so I guess it could be an interesting one to finish with, to finish our conversation with.
Yeah, it's very interesting to hear from Tina.
Mm.
What are you thinking?
Can you hear
Yeah.
Yeah.
Natalie, can you please repeat the last part? I
me? Yeah,
was trying to catch what you said.
sure, sure, sure. So I said that based on my experience, I would agree with the statement, East or West, home is best. But that was
Mm-hmm.
of course, it's my own experience. Would you also agree with that? Are you still drawn to home? Would you actually, just decide to stay in Russia? And
Well, that's an interesting one
yeah, it's a hard one.
because I really don't intend on living like in Zimbabwe. I would love to visit Zimbabwe and see my family, but I'd like to start somewhere new. Like, I don't mind staying in Russia, but I also want to pursue my dream in other countries, like just to spread my wings, despite home being the best. I'll definitely visit home and, but I would rather spread my wings and travel to a different country. I was actually looking into pursuing my master's in Australia or in New Zealand, those countries. So yeah,
Yeah. So you make home where you decide to live. Yeah. You just,
yes, yeah.
how about for you, Gleb?
Yeah, I absolutely agree with Tina. As for me, it's not a big problem to move anywhere because all my life I lived like a nomad because I've changed a lot of places during my life. And I find traveling, maybe changing the place of living, is very, very, very interesting and very useful because it's absolutely about your life experience. Because during the past 2 years, I've met a lot of very clever and smart people, and now they are my friends. Like it's it's the way of life, maybe. Because if you ask me, would I go home right now or in 2 days or in a year, I would answer that not. I want to go somewhere else because I'm not very young, but still, and I want to see whole world, and I want to live somewhere else, to meet another people, to get new experience. It's everything. It's the most important thing in my life after my family, of course.
And you have your family with you, traveling with you, which is wonderful.
Yeah,
That's
yeah. They're my best friends. Like we are the team.
yeah, yeah, wonderful. It's very important. Yeah, I think I would um yeah, like I would also say, yeah, your home is where your family is. Yeah, that certainly is for me. Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Work it out traveling together if you're on the same page, if you have similar goals, that's perfect. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
wow. Yeah, that's very nice. Did you
Recently I've counted the quantity of countries where my daughter was, and she has changed around 15 countries, and she's only 8. Wow, God bless me and my wife.
that's awesome. Yeah, I actually we need to talk more about it. Maybe it's like it could be a topic for next time for our next
Yeah,
discussion. Yeah, like the countries. I somehow missed that because you named like Australia. We talked about Serbia, about Kyrgyzstan, right? And a handful. So I feel like there's some more to your trips.
some more. Yeah, like Poland,
That's it.
Italy, France, Germany, Malaysia, Singapore, Thailand, and like
Okay,
10 else. Yeah, a lot of.
this is it. Let's talk about the nomadic lifestyle. Yeah, and so I guess like anyone who is also interested in joining, um, anyone who would like to also join us for the discussion, yeah, feel free to attend next time. We will then talk more about that. It's something that is also not very common for me, so I'll probably be asking you more questions. Maybe we can invite also someone who is also maybe one of such kinds. Yeah, like one of one more nomad. Yeah, and then we will have you guys sharing your experience. That's super interesting, actually. So, yeah, we have just a couple of minutes left. I just want to mention that, yeah, so Tina left. She's at the airport traveling to Moscow at the moment. Thanks for joining. Uh, Tina is also running our English classes. So in case if anyone would like to join in, just like a little ad in the end of our conversation. So we have meetings on Thursdays, I believe. So it's for B2 level, B2 plus. And Gleb, you're also running sessions, speaking sessions.
Yeah, it's online sessions.
Yeah, that's quite amazing. Are you guys open or you?
Yeah, absolutely, for free and open.
So that's an online sessions. Online.
Yeah.
That's awesome. A great one. Wonderful. So I guess we come to the end of today's discussions. If anyone else would like to share their ideas of what it's like to live in a foreign country, if you can describe it in 3 words, feel free to add in the comments below. And then we'll go prepare for our next session. I think it was fun.
Yeah, it's interesting.
Yeah.
Like a real life conversation with different people. It's amazing. I will invite my Australian friend here. Yeah, he lives in Russia.
Yeah, that's perfect. Yeah, I can't wait to meet him. I've heard quite a lot about him. Let's do it. Alrighty then. Yeah, Dan, thank you so much for attending as well. Feel free to add your comments and describe your experience living abroad. And yeah, thank you so much once again.
Thank you.
Thank you.
It was really nice to meet you. See you next time.
See you. Yeah, see you next time. Cheers. Bye.
Bye bye.